All right. Hey everyone. I am excited to finally be recording our OneNote training video. This is how I use OneNote and how I like to organize it. So you'll notice on the side here that I've got sections created by, actually I need to name this one. This is DBI. Sections created for each of our clients or kind of our larger projects. I've also got a section for NWA brand as well as meetings. So anytime I'm in a discovery phase meeting that to talk about them potentially coming on as a client, I'm always sure to take notes here. Or if I get a phone call and I just need to record information, that is where I will put it. So I want to talk a little bit about how I use this in a way that helps me to stay organized and prepared for meetings. Specifically, I am going to use Bumpers College today as an example. I had a meeting with them earlier this week. I never go into a meeting without first preparing an outline. So tip number one, always pre-prepare your outline. So if you'll notice, I went through and bolded these. I don't necessarily bold those for myself. I named it by the month that I'm having the meeting in, just because I always, with my larger clients that I manage, and eventually I won't be managing those, but with the ones that I manage, I like to label them by the month that I'm having the meeting in. But it would also make sense to label this as October because I was actually talking about our October initiatives. So I prepared for the meeting by listing out, I always like to start a monthly meeting by recapping, reporting, and then I have very specific topics that I wanted to talk about with them, things that I needed, and then kind of received information on that. Things that I needed, and then also I always like to wrap up with like what's coming up. What do I not know about that we really want to talk about? And I really like to use the check mark feature, and it's probably just because of my nature. I like to check lists off. It makes me feel like I've completed something, and I feel better about it. And so I like to use that. You don't have to use that, but it's beneficial for me. So I basically will work through a meeting based on my concepts that I've outlined here. And then you'll notice throughout here that I've got this yellow highlight and then a star. So I use a highlight as a way to basically say this is important, or you're probably going to need this in a campaign, which basically says this is important. It doesn't necessarily means that there needs to be a follow-up action. That's what I use the stars for. So stars mean I need to do something. So for this one, I needed to look up what program was used for a little photo booth station at a conference that I went to. And here, I basically copy and pasted my action items that I'm going to send back to the client. That's just something that I like to do. And then also listed out things that I'm going to need from the client, and I'm going to send that in an email, which I already did that as a recap email. This, I tend to copy and paste. So this was information that I took notes on in our meeting, our team meeting, which I've got its own little thing here for team meetings and one-on-ones. But I put this, I copy and pasted that from our team meeting to this side notes kind of bar. I really don't like to put all of that in my outline. I did end up putting a lot of that, but then I changed things up and put my own words in there, and was able to just go off of that. But it still pertains to the upcoming things. I like to have that information. This actually shouldn't be starred. One thing I want to point out is that here OneNote has a lot of cool little features. So ideas, highlights, questions. It seems like they even had at one point, I had like where you can have like a phone number or, all these different things. So you can basically create your own thing here, your own, I guess, icon for what action items needs to happen. So you need to create basically a system that works for you, because you can customize this to however you need it to. I mean, if you're really big into color coding, it takes too much time for me to do that, except for my calendar needs to be color coded. But if you're big into color coding, you can change things up and organize things in a way that are best for you. You can label them however you need to. I think it's a really good platform to utilize in staying organized. The only thing I don't like about it is right now, if I copy and paste information directly from here, it doesn't paste as a text, and it didn't used to do that. It's a recent update, or maybe I need to update. So that being said, I copy it and then I'll paste it in my notes, and then I'll just clean it up from there or delete it after I've repasted it to wherever it's going. So that is how I use OneNote, and I really want to encourage, especially our people in a client executive style role, to utilize OneNote because it's a great tool. If you don't already have it on your computer, please let me know. I'd be happy to look into purchasing that for you or sharing. I think I can purchase like a business ID for everyone. So please keep me in the loop as you're needing renewal, and as long as you're going to utilize that, because I want to set you guys up with the tools that are going to help you to succeed. And OneNote is one that does that for me. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope that it helped.